History did not begin when a European ship crossed the Atlantic. Long before that crossing, African and indigenous nations were building cities, governing communities, creating sacred landscapes, moving knowledge, and sustaining trade across enormous distances. To understand the world that produced Gullah Geechee history, we have to begin before Europe placed itself at the center of the map. Look at Africa and North America before the year 711. These were not empty continents waiting to be discovered. They held many distinct peoples, languages, governments, economies, and spiritual traditions. We will place 4 examples on the same timeline: Poverty Point and the Hopewell networks in North America, and the kingdoms of Kush and Aksum in Africa. These societies were not identical, and this comparison does not claim that they were in contact. It restores the histories that conventional Atlantic narratives often leave outside the frame. In the lower Mississippi Valley, indigenous people created the monumental landscape now called Poverty Point between about 1700 and 1100 BCE. Its mounds, concentric ridges, and central plaza required extensive planning and organized labor. Stone and other materials arrived through exchange networks extending for hundreds of miles. This was not a simple camp at the edge of history. It was an engineered gathering place created by people who understood water, earth, movement, and community on their own terms. Across the Atlantic, the Kingdom of Kush flourished along the Nile in what is now Sudan. Its cities contained temples, palaces, homes, workshops, pyramids, and major systems for managing water. Kushite rulers governed a powerful state, controlled territory, traded, produced iron, and for a period ruled Egypt. The surviving monuments at Meroë and Gebel Barkal are not echoes of a borrowed civilization. They are evidence of African political authority, technology, sacred life, and exchange developing over many centuries. Now return to Eastern North America between roughly the 1st and 4th centuries of the Common Era. Communities connected with what archaeologists call the Hopewell phenomenon constructed vast geometric earthworks. Their networks moved copper, mica, obsidian, marine shell, and other materials across distances reaching from the Atlantic coast toward the Rocky Mountains. Hopewell was not the name of one tribe or empire. It is a modern label for relationships among different native peoples, whose ceremonial, economic, and political worlds crossed regions without requiring a European road or map. During part of that same era, Aksum rose in the northern horn of Africa. From its highland center in the Red Sea port of Adulis, the kingdom stood at a crossroads linking interior Africa, Arabia, and the wider Mediterranean world. Aksum minted coins, raised monumental stone stelae, used written languages, and commanded important trade routes. By the early centuries of the Common Era, it was recognized as a major power between the Eastern Roman Empire and Persia. Africa was not isolated from world history. It was helping make that history. These 4 places cannot represent every African or indigenous society. That is the point. There was no single Africa, no single Native America, and no empty land waiting for Europe to provide history. Each continent contained overlapping worlds with their own conflicts, innovations, alliances, and memories. Beginning here changes the question. Instead of asking when Africa and the Americas entered European history, we ask what Europe encountered, engaged, and eventually documented. If this history changes the map for you, like this video and subscribe to follow the full chronology. I'm your guide, the Gullah Man, an HBCU-educated Gullah Geechee researcher, educator, and strategist connecting cultural memory with the systems shaping our world. This video was provided by LILMOD, a curriculum, simulation, and program design platform preparing the next generation for civic, cultural, workforce, media, and global leadership. Our next chapter begins in Iberia in the year 711. Who were the people later compressed into the single word Moor, and what does that word hide?